Week 9 of college football. Let's start in Salt Lake City. Woo. Oregon 35, Utah 6. Ted, Oregon went to Rice-Eccles Stadium and smacked Utah around. Got their first win there since 2016. That was impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. They got Utah at the right time after they, kind of sold out, gave everything they had in that USC game, showed all their cards. We've known that their offense is pretty limited without Cam Rising, and Oregon knew it and just jumped all over it.
The Oregon Ducks are a damn good football team.
Yep.
Really nice performance in a hostile environment. They did what you got to do on the road. They started fast. They didn't fall into a 14-0 hole. They started fast. And they jumped out to a 14-3 lead, then picked Bryson Barnes off, made him pay for it. Right? Bo Nix finds Troy Franklin in the back of the end zone, extends the lead to 21-3. And at that point, the game was over.
Yep.
Utah, they're just not built to come from behind like that. And they certainly had no chance with the way that Oregon came out of the locker room in the second half. Smacked them straight in the face. 35-6 in a blink of an eye.
Yep. Yep. Oregon they are a well-balanced, well-coached football team. Good game plans. I like what they do a lot. They're physical. They win the line of scrimmage. They compete. Oregon's good. They're really good.
Bucky Irving's one of my favorite running backs to watch in college football.
Yes, sir. He can do everything.
Hand it to him. Throw it to him. Guarantee he's going to make people miss.
He'll make you miss. He'll run through you. He'll carry the pile. He is all around. He's an NFL back. He can do it all.
One of the reasons I liked Oregon to go and win this football game was the fact that Bo Nix has been in a lot of these now. And he looked the way that a veteran needs to look if you want to go beat a good team on the road. Extremely efficient, was accurate, pushed it down the field when he needed to, used his legs when he needed to, did a nice job moving within the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield, then got the ball downfield. 24-31 for 248 and 2 touchdowns. Efficient. Really nice performance from him. Troy Franklin continues to produce for them at the wide receiver spot. Guy's a problem. And you think about Utah offensively, they just could not get the running game going with Jaquindon Jackson and Sione Vaki. And they fell into that big hole, so then they had to get away from it. That had been really good for them, especially Vaki in multiple ways. Been really good for them for the last couple of weeks. Utah had 28 rushing yards in the first 3 quarters of this game.
One-dimensional. That's what I like about Oregon is distribute, and Bo Nix does a good job of running that offense. Let's just let our best players have some touches in good spots, whether it's getting it to Irving in the running game or giving him some opportunities in the passing game, or, letting Franklin go to work. Just distribute the ball to the playmakers and let them do their thing.
One random observation from watching this game, and I think this is a compliment to Kyle Whittingham and what he's built there. There is no team in the country that I've seen that understands how you are supposed to act when you're getting your ass kicked in a football game than what I saw from Utah in this game. Getting thumped, guys making some nice plays late in the game, no celebration, nothing. Back to the huddle. And maybe that's an old man thing, but I appreciated it. They were getting worked. They knew it. They made plays. They kept playing hard. They went back to the huddle. They kept going.
Yep.
No incompletes, no celebrations, TFLs, no celebrations on catches, nothing. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I appreciate it as well. It means that you don't care about your individual results. You care about what the outcome of the football game is. And the individual results will come whenever you win football games. And it's refreshing. I think Kyle Whittingham is one of, if not the models for college football programs, what you want them to be like.
He's great. But they got smacked. Oregon's good. Oregon's good. Moving on to the next game, BYU went to Texas and did not give the Longhorns much of a game. Game was never in doubt. Texas was a much better football team, especially at the line of scrimmage, than BYU. But what'd you make of what we saw from Maalik Murphy? A bit up and down. One of the worst interceptions you're ever going to see. But was a bit up and down. Looked like a guy that was starting his first college football game at the quarterback position.
That's what I was about to say. You know, there you just got to think about how far behind you fall as, like, even if you're a backup quarterback, let's assume that two players have equal skills. They're right here. How far you fall behind the other guy in reps whenever you have a starter through training camp, through spring ball, through 8 weeks of the season, you're so far behind, and then you have to go out there and perform as a guy that's been a starter for 7 or 8 games. You're clearly going to be rusty. The decision making isn't going to be nearly as crisp. You're going to be kind of holding on to your butt there for a little bit. And I think that's what it was. It's just, you see some really nice play from him, and then you see inconsistent play from a guy that has just not had a whole lot of starter reps. I mean, the more he plays, the better he'll get.
Yeah, I think the fumble when they're trying to set up the screen's a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
It happens faster on game day, young fella.
Yep.
But overall, pretty solid, right? Other than the mistakes, and those were early. Those were in the first half. Other than the mistakes, found Adonai Mitchell on a couple of touchdowns. One, the throw wasn't as crisp as you want it to be, but hey, found his playmaker, got him the football. And as expected, BYU got a big dose of Texas's run game. Jonathon Brooks, another nice performance. 98 yards and a touchdown. Texas' offensive line was doing a nice job of moving that defensive line for BYU. And Brooks, he's got such good patience. And the thing that stands out, he's got that patience, Ted. And then when he decides to go, it's like watching you're the car guy. What's a really fast car off the line?
Off the line? Tesla.
Sure. He's
Tesla
a Tesla. Perfect for Austin. He is, when he decides to go, the acceleration is elite. He's got this patience, and then it's, okay, I see it, let's hit it. And it's really good stuff. And I think it's one of the main reasons their run game is as effective as it is.
Yeah. I mean, we
don't have that guy, by the way.
No.
We don't have one of those guys.
No, and it's a recurring theme. We're just talking about Oregon, one of the best teams in the country. They got that guy. Texas has that guy. I mean, you can kind of go down the list. Most of those teams that are kind of in the range that we were have a guy at running back.
That really hurt when you said word like that.
Well, hey,
that hurt. It's the truth, but it hurt. I'm not gonna lie. That word carried a lot of weight. Ouch. Yeah. Damn it. It's a great point. Texas has playmakers, right? Dynamic playmakers. Brooks did it in the running game. Adonai Mitchell did it in the passing game. Xavier Worthy did it as a punt returner. Sets the tone in that game early. Guy looks like a blur on that first touchdown for the Longhorns. Dynamic playmakers. You have to get them the football because they can make plays.
Yeah.
Now, you have to have those guys, but you have to call plays to get the football to those guys.
Yeah. Well, and, both of these games, the Oregon Utah game and then the BYU Texas game, when you show up, you play well early, you build a lead. It's how you put people away whenever you make them one-dimensional. We never, against Kansas, we never forced the ball into Jason Bean's hands as a backup or as a drop back passer. Never. And both Oregon and Texas did that to Utah and BYU. Force them to be one-dimensional, and you can just tee off. You know what's coming, and it's a scramble. Every play, we never had a chance to pin our ears back on anything. We're kind of on our heels the whole day.
Positives for BYU, had a couple really nice goal line stands. One late in the third, one early in the fourth. It's good stuff. And that's something Texas clearly has an issue with.
Mm-hmm.
Finishing those drives down on the goal line, but Cougars they had nothing going in the running game. Keaton Slovis had to throw it like 40 times. Had a rough day, got hit a lot.
Well, again, that's what happens whenever the other team builds a lead on you, and you got to throw it to catch up to try and get yourself back in the game. You're one-dimensional.
Yeah. The only other observation I have from this game, BYU was in the old school Navy-ish BYU look. I think I like the brighter blue look better for them.
100%.
It really pops.
Because
it's just something to consider, Cougars. Maybe stick with the more vibrant blue.
You know how I am. You've spent years and money on marketing and your brand to where people instantly know who you are whenever they see you. I don't know that you instantly know who that is whenever you see it, right?
I think that's fair. I didn't come away from this game viewing Texas any differently. I do think with what we've seen, the small sample size we've seen, the offense is better with Ewers running it. They can't have Maalik Murphy. They can't have him continue to make these mistakes, especially with K-State coming to town.
Yeah. No.
So they need to get him back. I just don't know how long he's going to be out. It seems to be pretty uncertain.
Yeah. Now that Oklahoma's lost, it's going to be a drag race to the finish line. And can they make it to the Big 12 championship with 2 losses? I don't know. We'll see what happens after they lose to K-State. They're going to be scoreboard watching, trying to handle their business, trying to get Ewers back too. But I don't know. It's going to be tough to make it to the Big 12 championship with 2 losses. We'll see.
I see what you did there.
I'm just saying it's happening.
I'm not telling you you're wrong. K-State's playing good, man. I'm not telling you you're wrong.